Hey guys, what's up? It's your friendly neighborhood Gora here with one more video, एक और video. So as you know, ਮੈਨੂੰ Sikhism ਤੇ Punjabi culture ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ. So I love going to Gurdwaras, really enjoy Sikhism and Punjabi culture and sharing my experiences with you guys. And most of my videos encompass that. But for this video, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I've had many requests from people who have never been to a Gurdwara asking me, hey, what is it like? Asking me they would like to go, but they don't know what to do. And so I thought I would do a video sharing my experiences going to Gurdwaras. So if you've never been to one, you feel more comfortable trying it out. Sound good? Okay. So I guess the first point that I want to share is that by no means am I an expert at going to Gurdwaras. I go quite often, so come se come half the Vichitvar may Gurdwara ja raha. So usually at least once a week I go to a Gurdwara. And I've learned many things, but I'm not an expert, but I'm happy to share my experiences with you guys, okay? So that's the first point. Point number two would be, if you go to Gurdwara and you're not sure what to do, the great thing about Punjabi people and going to Gurdwara is that they're extremely friendly and helpful and welcoming. So just the fact that you're making the attempt to go to a Gurdwara, try it out, experience it, they're more than willing to help you out, show you where to go. If you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. They'll kind of show you what to do and where to go. Okay, so next, what I want to share is something even before you go to Gurdwara. Maybe we should step back for a second. How do you even find a Gurdwara? So the easiest thing is you would Google it just like anything else. Where I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Vitrendaha. We have Jay Gurdwara Edmonton Beach. So we have 6 Gurdwaras here. But I've been to many Gurdwaras in other major cities in Canada, Calgary, Brampton, Surrey, and so on. But the easiest way to find a Gurdwara if you're not really sure or you're in the neighborhood but you can't quite pinpoint exactly where it is to find the Nishan Sahib. And so what the Nishan Sahib, it's a flag that is erected outside every Gurdwara in the shape of a triangle. It's usually orange and it's usually made of cotton or silk, and it's designed to show you where the Gurdwara is. It's also meant to represent truth and justice and those sorts of things as well. And the other thing you'll notice about it, it is actually has a picture of a kanda on it. So I'm going to show you what that is. And that's this right here. So you'll see this symbol on that flag outside a Gurdwara. So that's the next step, is just to find a Gurdwara. That's what you want to look for. Okay, so great news. You found the Gurdwara. Now what do? Well, just like any other building, you go in the front door. Now, some Gurdwaras have one entry door for both men and women. And some Gurdwaras I've been to actually have separate entrances. Usually the men would enter on the right-hand side, the women would enter on the left-hand side. So when you go to the Gurdwara, if you're not sure, it doesn't really matter. I've made this mistake several times before. If you go in the wrong door, no big deal. But go inside. So once you're inside, you'll find yourself in a coat room of sorts. So this is an area where you can hang up your coat, your sweater. This is where you would need to take your shoes off. You can have a seat if you want. There's benches there. And in some Gurdwaras, they're a little more strict about you taking your socks off too. So sometimes when I go to Gurdwara, I take my socks off. Sometimes I don't. If you're not really sure, just take your socks off and then you won't have to worry about it. Okay, great. So you're inside Gurdwara. You've removed your shoes and socks. You've hung up your coat, you're feeling more comfortable. So the next really important thing that you're going to need to do is find a rumal to cover your hair, okay? So there are usually bins there with rumals in them that you can do this. And this is super important, guys. In Sikhism, it's very important to cover your head inside Gurdwara. It's a sign of modesty and respect, showing that there's a power higher than you, and that being God. And so kesh, which is your hair, is really important in Sikhism. And that's why you see Sikh men and some Sikh women actually wearing turbans where they do not cut their hair. So for any visitors to a Gurdwara, it's really important that you cover your head when you go inside. So you want to find that bin and find a rumal. And this is what they actually look like. Okay, it's a triangular piece of fabric like this. Usually, I don't know, orange, blue, lots of different colors. If you'll notice, it has that kanda symbol on it again. So that's an easy way to see where that is. And you want to tie that on your head. So easiest way is flip it on your head like this. Okay, you can actually ask someone to assist you if you're having trouble. Like I said, Sikh people are very helpful and welcoming and friendly, and they'll be more than happy to help you tie your rumal on your head. And so that's what it looks like. Okay, so great. Your shoes are removed, you're comfortable, you've got your head covered, and now you want to go and wash your hands, and in some places wash your feet as well. So they may have a wash bin for your feet. Some Gurdwaras have that, some don't, but definitely you want to wash your hands. After you wash your hands, you then walk into the main hall area of the Gurdwara. Okay, so in this main area of the Gurdwara, usually what you'll find are TVs on the wall with scripture in the Sikh language Gurbani, sometimes in English. So you definitely can read that. Sometimes there's not TVs and it'll just be postings up on the wall. So this is a time that you can meditate, you can read some of that scripture, just kind of familiarize yourself with things, educate yourself a little bit. And then you would turn to actually walk into the main hall area of the Gurdwara. And so if you're more familiar with a church, it's very similar to a church and walking down the aisle. So some Gurdwaras again are a little bit different. Sometimes the women would be on the left-hand side and the men on the right. A lot of Gurdwaras, it doesn't matter. And again, if you make a mistake, no one's going to penalize you or anything for that. They're more than happy that you're just there, period. So at the front of the Gurdwara, what you'll find is the Guru Granth Sahib. And so what the Guru Granth Sahib is the Holy Scripture in Sikhism. So it represents the Holy Scripture, similar to like a Bible would be for a lot of Christians. But it also represents the final Guru in Sikhism. So Sikhism has had many gurus in the past, and the Guru Granth Sahib actually represents the final guru in Sikhism. So when you get to the front of the Gurdwara, in front of the Guru Granth Sahib, this is where you would meditate, you would pray. Usually you would kneel and actually pray towards the Guru Granth Sahib. And if you want to provide a donation, you can do that. So that's not mandatory, but usually I do. You would want to bring a coin or a bill or something, and there's an area that you can make a donation. So after you've done your meditation and praying at the front, there's actually a few things that you can do. One option is you can just turn and leave if you like to, and that's fine. That's not usually what I do. Usually what I'll do is actually walk around the Guru Granth Sahib, making prayers and meditations as I walk around. The other option is you can just turn and actually go sit down on the ground. And so usually the women would sit on the left-hand side, the men on the right-hand side. Some Gurdwaras, it doesn't matter, so you can sit wherever you want. And that's where you would sit cross-legged or kneel, sometimes against the wall. And it's a great time for you to be able to just meditate, pray, think about what you want to think about that day. If there's ragis playing, so if there's music playing in the Gurdwara, you can make an offering to them too. Sometimes they'll actually have a donation area for that. And there's usually some religious scripture on the walls too, where books you can actually go and grab, and you can read those while you sit there if you want as well. So after you're done praying and meditating, you can make your way out of the Gurdwara. On the way out, there's usually someone there offering you a religious offering, and it's something called prashad. So it's a kind of a sweet offering, something made up of sugar, butter, flour, and water that they will give to you. And then you can eat that on your way out. So I will suggest usually grabbing a napkin as well. It can be quite greasy, but I really enjoy having prashad. And so it's something that you should try to do on your way out. So from there's a few options, guys. You would want to wash your hands, return your rumal to the bin that you got it from, or usually there's a bin for used rumals. And then you can actually make your way out of the Gurdwara, make your way home, and hopefully you've had an amazing experience. There is a couple other things that you can actually do too. And those are things called seva and langar. Now, I'm not going to get into that on this video. I'm going to save those topics for another video. But hopefully this video gave you some great instructions on what it's like to visit a Gurdwara, some of the key things that you should do while you're there. But at the end of the day, remember, if you're not sure, please ask someone to help you. Okay, guys, bahat dhanvad dekin lai. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again soon. For milde, Dhyaan rakho.